Welcome to our Béliveau Family of Schools Town Hall event. I'm Christian Michalik, Superintendent of the Louis Riel School Division. Je tiens aussi à vous souhaiter la bienvenue en français, étant donné la présence de nos apprenants dans notre programme d'immersion. To honor the fact that we're bringing together one of our two French immersion school families, I'm going to read our land acknowledgement in French. La division scolaire Louis Riel réunit une communauté d'écoles sur les terres traditionnelles des Anishinaabe, Inenawak et Dakota. Notre division se situe dans la patrie des Métis. Nous reconnaissons que le Manitoba abrite également les terres traditionnelles des Anishinaabe et d'Aînés. Nous respectons les traités conclus sur ces terres et reconnaissons les préjudices et les erreurs du passé et du présent. Nous nous engageons à créer des alliances authentiques avec les communautés autochtones dans un esprit de réconciliation et de collaboration. Le développement continu de la reconnaissance des terres de la DSCLR est dirigé par notre Conseil autochtone des grands-mères et des grands-pères que nous remercions de sa générosité et de sa collaboration. This important statement that I read in the French language this evening is one that we continue to refine with the guidance of our Indigenous Council of Grandmothers and Grandfathers. It is a living document. Over the next hour or so, you'll be hearing from staff and students from the Béliveau family of schools. And we'll get to see all the great things that have been happening in our schools and at the end, you'll have time to answer, we'll have time to answer your questions. You'll have time to ask them. And if you would like to ask a question, you do this by typing in the chat window. Now, a warning though, the chat is being moderated, so only published questions and thoughts will be visible to everyone. And again, at the very end of the presentation, we will take time to answer some of those questions. We may not have the time to get to all of them. That said, we will read all of them and get back to important answers that to important questions that need answering. So before we visit Collège, the Collège Béliveau family of schools, I know many of you may have questions about the recent announcement regarding the public education system, specifically Bill 64 and the Better Education Starts Today strategy. It is the most significant once-in-a-generation change in the history of our education system in Manitoba. And because of that, we will do all we can to keep our community updated and engaged. And we're doing this through a spotlight story on our website that links directly to the Government of Manitoba website and all of the documents being published on that website. So I encourage all of us, each of us, to take the time to read through all of the linked documents, to get better acquainted and to develop an understanding of the changes to learning, teaching, students, and families being proposed in the legislation. In this week's Parent Post, and so now, if you're wondering what is the Parent Post, it's a quarterly email we've been sending families for some time now. So for some time now, for a few years now, and we know we're getting really good pickup, but some of you may be new to Lrst or may haven't seen the Parent Post appear in your mailbox of late. Because it might be going to junk mail, you never know. So do look for that Parent Post, because in it there'll be a lot of important information about your Lrsd, but we will also be asking for feedback and questions you're asking as Lrsd families through a thought exchange. And so we've used this platform before. Again, if you're not new to Lrsd, if you were there for the creation of our multi-year strategic plan in 2019, if you were there in 2018-19 for the reimagining of our vision and our vision statement, our mission statement, you're familiar with the thought exchange. And so this will be a platform where you can share all your thoughts, all your questions related to Bill 64. And so in the meantime, we're going to just continue working as hard as we do, as hard as we can to serve schools, students, children and young people, their parents, their families, staff, here from the board office in the days, weeks, and months to come. And sharing all of the wonderful things we do in Lrsd using our familiar hashtag #YourLrsd. I continue to be so grateful for the incredible support from the community as we continue to navigate the pandemic, and now also start to engage with this once-in-a-generation change to our education system. I'm also very grateful to the many colleagues I work with here in the board office, and I'm grateful to two colleagues that are joining me this evening that have hung around in the board office. Well, I have several. I have two colleagues that are going to speak, but I have three colleagues behind the scenes that I also want to acknowledge. I have Brandon Boone, Taylor Fenn, and Greg, who are manning all of the technology that is making this a reality. But now, without further ado, I want to, I'm in the board office with Assistant Superintendent Henri Péloquin and Divisional Principal Jeff Anderson. Henri is the Liaison Assistant Superintendent for the Béliveau family of schools, the Béliveau family of schools. And on to you, Henri.
Merci, Christian. Bonsoir, tout le monde. So the Collège Béliveau family of schools have been an important part of my more than 30-year career in public education. I actually began my teaching career at Collège Béliveau in 1990, and after 10 years in the classroom, I became the vice principal at Collège Béliveau and followed that with an appointment as principal at École Henri Bergeron. I'm so proud of the commitment the Louis Riel School Division and all the individuals you'll hear from this evening have to French immersion programming. To all the parents who are tuning in this evening, I share your pride of this fantastic family of schools, as I'm also the parent of a Collège Béliveau graduate who went on to complete her Bachelor of Nursing degree at l'Université de Saint-Boniface. So the gift of bilingualism is a wonderful asset for the students in this family of schools. I want to extend my appreciation to all the staff members for the work they do each day, to the students who have shared their stories, and to the families who are joining us this evening. Now, I'll pass the torch over to Jeff Anderson, Divisional Principal and the Liaison Assistant Superintendent for the Collège Béliveau family of schools, beginning in April. Merci.
Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir. Thank you for the introduction, Henri. I am indeed looking forward to my new role as Liaison Assistant Superintendent for the Béliveau family of schools. As a former principal of École Henri Bergeron and École Guillot, this is a family of schools that I know well. One of my great privileges as divisional principal is to serve as co-principal of École Apprendre chez soi, the Learning from Home school. Louis Riel School Division created this school in August to meet the needs of students required to learn from home for medical reasons. Our program is unique in Manitoba, offering both the English and French immersion programs from kindergarten through to grade 12. There are currently 820 students in the school, with 30% of learners enrolled in French immersion. 120 of our students come from the Collège Béliveau family of schools. Let's hear from one of our learners, grade 11 student, Brianne Nickel.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Brianna Nickel. Je suis une élève du Collège Béliveau et aussi une élève de l'école Apprendre chez soi. I think that learning from homeschool was a great experience for me. I was way more outgoing this year than I ever have been, and I also participated in a lot more class discussions. I also really liked that we could get in contact with our teachers really easily. You could just send them a message and they would answer as soon as possible, and it was really easy to get an explanation if you didn't understand your homework. I also really like that I can continue my learning in French since I've been doing French since preschool, so it was nice to continue to do that as well and learn more French and broaden my vocabulary. So I honestly had no problems with this program whatsoever, and it was honestly really great for me. I will always remember this year for all the best reasons.
It was great to hear Brianne share her experience. Now let's hear from Pam Kolicek, Vice Chair of our Board of Trustees.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Pamela Kolicek, the Vice Chair of the Louis Riel School Board. Tonight we get to see inside the Béliveau family of schools. This town hall is pretty special to me as my girls are, and many of our friends are part of this family of schools. I'm looking forward to seeing some familiar faces tonight. It's been great to see the inside of all of the schools in Lrst as each town hall has been presented. It has provided the opportunity for parents and trustees to be able to see what's happening in schools, especially since visitors are not allowed at this time. I want to thank all the admin and the teachers and others that have taken time to put these great videos together, as well as everyone else who has made tonight possible. We really appreciate everything that you do in order to keep our kids safe and ensure that they're still having fun at school. Enjoy the show.
For those words, Pam, thanks for that recorded message. Now I say that, but I know that all the trustees, including Pam, are listening in this evening. Now let's hear a few words of encouragement from Lionel, a member of our valued Council of Grandmothers and Grandfathers.
I would just like to welcome everybody here to the school. I think that as we begin our town hall, I think a couple of things that we need at least I feel like we need to be thinking about is how we are all connected together. These family of schools are connected together. One of the things I tell students when I go into the schools is how we are all connected. And one of the examples that I use is just the air that we breathe. The air that we breathe connects us all together. It's the same air that I breathe, that you're breathing, that somebody in the north end is breathing, northern edge of Ottawa, Vancouver, and even overseas. It's all the same air that we breathe. And so we're all connected together. What I do impacts on you, and what you do impacts on me to some degree. Even the people that we encounter during the day, the bus driver that took you from home to school, has an impact on your day. And often we don't know people who impact on us during the day, but we are all connected as these schools are. As we go through our work with students, we want to make sure that they are connected. Connected to the adults in a healthy way. Yes, they're connected to their peers, but often their peers are in the same boat, as if you will, as they are in, and they need some direction. Parents give them that direction. Teachers give them that direction. Administrators give them that direction. And so we all work together. And I think part of what we do with these town halls is that we're all pulling together in the same direction. And so for me, that's the purpose of these town halls, is to set the direction that we are going to be pulling so that our students, our children succeed not only in school, but gather lessons for later on in life as well. And so as we move forward in this town hall, one of the things that my old people tell me is to give thanks for everything that you have up to this point in your life. Some of them may have been hard experiences, some sorrow, but there is also some joy, some joyful moments that we need that we need to acknowledge with a grateful frame. And so I ask you just to, as we move forward, to be thankful for not only other people in our lives, but also for the things that we have, for the many blessings that we have up to this day. And so I ask that you join me as I say a word of prayer, and I'll do it in my own language as well. And so I ask you to join me in a moment of meditation. Ano mo so misiri tamali ya sa babing ya damane. E po itap magone no. Ni mat hami no no knahamba ek. Et mam ko daw tanda wasina. Ano umbag hawa siya no ka yuni buja. Nana akong no na tijuni buja. Ano tagisa. No dawasina ka po wakana bistalwan kasili.
I want to thank Lionel for taking the time to record those words. He's expressed some important thoughts about relationships and about the many staff that make up the Louis Riel School Division and that are here to serve over 15,500 students, and how each and every one of those over 2,000 staff members play such an important role, and how grateful we must be to each and every one of them. So now I'm excited to share with you how students have continued to thrive during these uncertain times. And that's at the heart of this this idea of these town halls is to allow you into the schools, because the pandemic is preventing so many of us to be in community with the staff and kids. First up, let's hear from École Howden.
Good evening. My name is Joanne de Criner, and I'm so proud and honored to be the principal of École Howden, alongside Madame Ida Azevedo, our vice principal. This French immersion school has an amazing community of learners from kindergarten to grade 6. Currently, we have 330 students and 40 dedicated staff members. École Howden is located on Howden Road in Windsor Park. Our student successes are attributed to the partnership and the relationships we build within our community, and it is most important now more than ever. It truly does take a village, and at École Howden, we value teamwork and collaboration. Although this year looks different than any other year, we are dedicated in providing your children memorable and engaging learning experiences. During the last 8 years, École Howden has been working on a literacy programming to assess and identify children at an early age who may be at risk for potential challenges in literacy. In early fall, we have used a phonological awareness assessment to identify at-risk students in kindergarten. Throughout the school year, our team works with these identified students daily in small groups to explicitly teach and practice these lagging skills. Come and see what our grade 2 class has been doing in literacy.
Bienvenue à l'École Howden.
Hi, my name is Michelle Follows, and I'm the literacy teacher at École Howden. This year I was reassigned to a grade 2 classroom and was able to continue the structured multisensory literacy approach with my classroom, both in French and English. To date, 86% of my students are reading at grade level expectations. Students have learned the rules for language, which include rules for dividing words into syllables and complex sounds. This has enabled them to decode words easily and with great confidence. All students approach reading in a systematic manner. They do not need to rely on pictures or guessing. This approach has proven for my students that the rules for language can be applied to decode any word. The whole class approach has also reduced the number of students that need further support from student services. Moving forward, we are confident that all students at École Houghton can greatly benefit from early identification and the integration of a structured multisensory literacy approach.
Hi, I'm Nicole Lever. I'm the student services teacher here at École Houghton. In the fall of 2019, we continued to use many assessments in kindergarten and grade 1 to identify at-risk students. We developed a daily structured multisensory literacy approach where our school's literacy teacher began teaching 30-minute lessons in all grade 1 classrooms. Daily discussions and classroom teachers about structured multisensory literacy were extremely beneficial and a great learning experience for all parties involved.
Bonsoir, je m'appelle Sharad Srivastav et je suis le directeur à École Henri Bergeron. It is my pleasure to be able to share with you a bit about our school. We are a grade 4 through 8 school where some 235 young people come every day. Our school houses not only those who began immersion back in kindergarten, but also the dynamic and wonderful middle immersion program, which students begin in grade 4 itself and who you'll hear in the video. We hope to return soon to Club HB, a beautiful opportunity for us all to be grouped vertically, where older students take on the role of guides for the younger ones. The sense of belonging in Club HB helped foster a sense of unity to form something bigger and better, gentler and kinder. Our students are generous and you see kind messages on lockers saying, "J'aime ton sourire." Our students would volunteer in the community and really see themselves as members of that community. Through music, our students learn to listen to each other's cues and recognize that in this generous give and take, we all sound richer. HB students develop a sense of mastery as they share their learning on Remembrance Day, Black History Month, and through day-to-day learning in the classroom. At every turn, our staff infuses in the students the sense that they write with a clear purpose and for a distinct audience. Through physical education, our students cheer on and cooperate as they become fitter and stronger. Our recent celebration of learning had the thread of reflection woven throughout, actively thinking about how a project contributed to their growth. Goal setting, modeling, think alouds that help with problem solving, researching and editing, all of this to reinforce independence in our students. The entire École Henri Bergeron staff understands that when parents and caregivers cannot be with their children, that we hold close to our hearts these fine young people. When our grade 8s leave, our school is never quite the same. And when our grade 4s join us, they bring with them a new vibrancy. We are École Henri Bergeron, and it is my honor to be part of this team.
I enjoy it because we get to play drums still with our friends. Even though we can't be close to them, it's still very enjoyable. I really like the Tabano because you could express your feelings when you're playing drums.
We are outside a lot of the time because inside is too close sometimes. It was a good difference, I think, because it allowed us to get a lot of fresh air and play games that we usually wouldn't play. We played a lot of soccer, which was very fun. I love soccer.
So the I do, we do, you do process starts with the I do, where the teacher would demonstrate and model the concept of our project or lesson. The we do is when we as a class do it all together. Then the you do is when we do it on our own. It just gives us a visual of what we should be doing.
Even though practical arts is quite different, it's still very enjoyable because it's always nice to have a little break of just doing math or science and do something fun. I think the way that Madame Dumas' modeling helped other kids was they got to see what the finished project would look like, so then they had a better visual understanding of what it would look like.
Qu'est-ce que moi j'aime à l'école Henri Bergeron, c'est parler en français avec mon professeur. J'aime le français parce que j'aime parler en différents langages et j'aime le français.
So some of the safety measures the school is taking to keep us all more safe and clean is social distancing and hand sanitization and mask wearing. Through these measures, they're able to keep all the kids safe feeling as if they're in a family, even though it's a school.
Good evening. My name is Colette Daly, and I am the principal at École Guillaume. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to a virtual visit of our school this evening. École Guillaume is a kindergarten to grade 8 school with 401 students and 48 staff members. In the fall of 2019, we built 2 beautiful new classrooms to accommodate our growing population, and were able to welcome our first group of grade 8 students this year. Every morning, students and staff proudly recite our mission statement. À l'École Guillaume, notre but est d'être respectueux, responsable et fier d'être bilingue. At École Guillaume, we strive to be respectful, responsible, and proud to be bilingual. And proud we are to witness the growth and development of the French language. Tonight, you will get a glimpse of the learning that is happening in our classrooms and hear from a grade 1 teacher about how the language is taught to our students and the important steps that are taken to support students in their development. As we navigated the requirements surrounding the pandemic, students were taught mindfulness strategies to assist in their well-being. Staff used a variety of techniques to teach children how to self-regulate, including, but not limited to, Thrival kits in grades 4 to 6. More information about the Thrival kits will be shared tonight. You will hear how the benefits of learning outdoors have outweighed the challenges. Students in junior high explored outdoor learning activities in addition to their outdoor phys ed time. Nestled right across from the Seine River, students were able to explore the ecosystems that are quite literally in École Guillaume's front yard. Running into a family of deer during a couple of their visits made the learning even more memorable. On behalf of Madame Carole Rondeau, our vice principal, and myself, bienvenue à l'École Guillaume.
Welcome. Bienvenue. So this play is an example of like formal teaching where they would practice specific sentence structures, but we also try to include a lot of authentic conversation where students converse with each other in French and with myself, and that's where we see a lot of growth.
In our classroom, we have been doing what we call the Thrival kits, and essentially it's a kit that gives the students coping strategies and tools so that they know what to do if they're ever in a situation when they're upset about something. And it makes them feel comfortable coming to the teacher because they know that we've talked about mental health for a couple months now, I guess. Especially with COVID, it's important that they feel comfortable having someone they can talk to.
So I think here what we're doing at École Guillaume, got tons of activities planned for the outdoor spaces. Hopefully they can transfer those skills into different community spaces, encouraging them to be also active outside on their own time as well. They're so limited in space in the classrooms, so outdoor education, it gives them more space to move around, always while learning as well.
We've been very fortunate to have such a great group of kids in the gym this year, and I think the students are really appreciating being all together in their last year of grade 8 before they head off to Béliveau.
My experience learning in the gym this year is different than normal years because usually we're in a classroom with 20 kids, but this year we're in a big gym with my whole entire grade. I like the decision what the teachers made when they put the curtains up because it helped me concentrate and it felt normal having my own class. Quelques avantages d'avoir une éducation bilingue incluent plusieurs occasions dans la future et c'est vraiment spécial de connaître deux langues. Il y a tellement de choses qu'on peut faire que si on savait juste l'anglais ou juste le français.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Clodier, and I'm the very proud principal of École Van Bellingham. I'm currently in my second year at École Van B, working alongside my vice principal partner, Madame Julie Lavassade. École Van Bellingham is a kindergarten to grade 8 school situated in Southdale on Treaty 1 territory with 399 students and 48 dedicated staff members. Our school community has grown tremendously in the past years, and we transitioned from a kindergarten to grade 6 to a kindergarten to grade 8 school in September 2017. We have a very active and supportive parent advisory council that has made it possible to have many school enhancements, including our wonderful play structure area. Parents are a very valued part of our community at École Van B. This year, due to our large school population and the space required for social distancing, our grade 7 and 8 students and staff have been welcomed by Mr. Jordan Faulkner and the team at Island Lakes Community School. We greatly appreciate how everyone has adapted and worked together to make this transition a smooth one. Part of tonight's video will highlight that transition, as well as the integration of the practical arts program into the classroom for our students. As a school team, we work together to foster a positive, inclusive, and safe school climate. This includes classroom discussions and activities relating to mental health and well-being. This has never been as important as it has been this past year, and this will continue to be a priority for us as a school team in the future. In tonight's video, you will see our 2 grade 5 classes discussing the various ways that they are supporting their mental health every day. We are so happy to welcome you to our school community. Bienvenue à Van B.
Today we're going to be talking about the Thrival Kids Project. The Thrival Kids Project is teaching us about coping strategies for dealing with stress. They help us deal with big events like COVID-19 or small ones like having a bad hair day. Stay safe.
Part of our English program is expressing, reading, writing gratitude. Just a process that allows us to shape the world around us and see it in a positive light rather than have the world around us shape our emotions and feelings.
So we start every morning off with a mindfulness practice, just to be in the present moment, to be aware of our feelings. It's very grounding, and it's a positive way to start our day.
After mindfulness practice, I feel really calm to start the day, and I can pay attention in class. Just all of the negative energy that was built up in my mind just gets released.
My name is Andrea Clody, and I'm the principal of École Van Bellingham. So this year we've had the opportunity to have our grade 7 and 8 students do a big transition to Island Lakes Community School. So we have 3 classes that are in their own cohort who are around the school gymnasium, and we use that as kind of our central location. And the kids have really done a terrific job adapting, and the staff as well.
My name is Arthur Ray. I'm a practical arts teacher here at Island Lakes, and I think the students actually enjoyed the transition. They were able to do some hands-on projects, and the project we're currently working on is the Mitten project, so most students are just finishing that up now.
Yeah, so all the projects that we did were just like good time fillers to like keep us entertained and not just staying in the classroom the whole time. And yeah, so I really enjoyed making all the projects.
Bonsoir. My name is Marc Poirier, and I am the proud principal of École Sage Creek School, where I am so lucky to be a part of an amazing team of students, staff, and parents. We are a kindergarten to grade 6 dual-track school that opened its doors 4 short years ago. Although our building is new, we know that what really makes a great school are the people, the relationships developed between those people, and the sense of belonging in the school. École Sage Creek School is home to 770 students, with 380 of them learning in our French Immersion program, and who are therefore part of the Collège Béliveau family of schools. I am so proud of how our students and staff in our 2 language programs work together to create one amazing school. Merci au personnel. Thank you so much to our valued staff, who is extremely dedicated as they strive to meet the needs of our students and our community. Through collaboration, they use a variety of strategies to ensure deeper learning in all subjects, while developing our students' skills in communication, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, citizenship, as well as character education. Merci beaucoup pour tout ce que vous faites. To our parents, guardians, and community, thank you so very much for your support, engagement, flexibility, and for following the safety protocols that are in place to keep us all safe. We appreciate all that you do to make your child's education a priority. Although we typically would have had more opportunities to meet with you in person, we have appreciated being able to remain connected virtually and are so glad that you're with us this evening. Thank you very much for all that you do. Un message pour nos élèves. Last but certainly not least, I want to highlight our amazing students. I am so impressed by our wonderful students and want to thank them for their engagement, their flexibility, and their resilience as we navigate this school year. They continue to show unbelievable perseverance while focusing on their growth and learning. Beau travail aux élèves. You simply are amazing. I truly am grateful to work with each of these three groups of people who make École Sage Creek School a wonderful place to learn and grow. I would now like to pass it on to Megan Van Conant, our Vice Principal.
Good evening. We are excited to welcome you virtually into our school this evening. The clips you're about to see will give you a glimpse into some of the priorities shown in our multi-year strategic plan. Priorities that are related to the Circle of Courage, including belonging, mastery, independence, and generosity. The clips will showcase our student engagement in rich and diverse learning opportunities that include literacy, numeracy, mindfulness, and generosity. Other priorities that are also valued at École Sage Creek School include outdoor learning, Indigenous education, and 21st century learning. Because this town hall is for our immersion students who will become Collège Béliveau Barracudas, it is extremely important to highlight our student, staff, and parents' commitment to developing bilingual lifelong learners. It is wonderful to see the various approaches used by our staff to engage our students in learning French. It is also wonderful to see our students' engagement and commitment to learning French and to hear them proudly interact in French throughout the day. Bienvenue à l'École Sage Creek School.
Focus in regards to literacy in kindergarten is on the alphabet and phonological awareness. So learning all of these new skills in a new language involves a lot of explicit teaching, along with play-based and hands-on activities that allow our learners to practice what they've learned.
In December, the 4 grade 1 French immersion classes led a school-wide food drive for Manitoba Harvest. We wanted to promote generosity while also tying into our curriculum of Canada's food guide. We're now currently studying the 7 teachings, and we wanted to continue on with generosity. So we decided to make positive affirmation cards for Manitoba Harvest's Breakfast to Go program.
Bonjour. We are learning how to take care of our well-being. You know that being healthy is a combination of being physically and mentally healthy. Our classes participate in a variety of activities that help our well-being. We sometimes Zentangle, which is an art style that was created to calm the mind. We take time during the day to be calm and quiet and ready our minds for the rest of the day. We usually go outside to get fresh air and change our thoughts. We're doing our math in groups because if you can see a concept from different perspectives, you're more likely to find more efficient and creative ways of problem solving. I like doing math this way because there are others to help understand concepts better and I'm more comfortable asking questions in smaller groups.
Bonsoir et bienvenue à l'École Provencher. My name is Michelle Olson and I am the principal at École Provencher. I'm here this evening with our vice principal, David Charney, and we both want to welcome you to École Provencher. Our beautiful historical school is situated in the heart of St. Boniface, and we are so proud to be a part of this community. École Provencher is a kindergarten to grade 3 French immersion school with 258 students and 43 staff members. We are fortunate to have a full-time kindergarten program at our school to help serve our community. We are also very proud to share that our kindergarten and grade 1 students receive Ojibwe lessons throughout the school year. This year has been a very unique school year for all students and staff. It has helped us to think outside of the box and has given us some wonderful opportunities to take our learning outside. This evening, we would like to share with you 2 important pieces of the learning that has been taking place at École Provencher. We want to showcase our outdoor physical education program and speak to you about the balanced school day schedule and the positive impact it has had on our students and staff over the past 2 years. Taking care of our students' mental health has been an important part of how we have planned this school year. The balanced school day schedule has also allowed teachers to work mental health blocks into their daily schedules, which allows all of our students time to take care of their mental well-being by practicing a variety of strategies such as mindfulness, yoga, breathing techniques, and so much more. Mother Nature was mostly on our side this year, making it possible to take our learning outdoors most days. We are fortunate to be situated close to Parc Provencher and to Marion School, who very generously offered to share their schoolyard with us for the outdoor physical education classes. We look forward to continuing to foster the positive relationship that we have with the Marion School staff and community. We hope you will enjoy learning about a few highlights here at École Provencher. Stay well, everyone, and have a wonderful March break.
Bonjour et bienvenue à l'École Provencher.
We are so fortunate to be situated right here in the heart of St. Boniface with so many beautiful things in the area. And we love coming to school every day in this big, beautiful, historic building.
So since we've moved to a balanced school day, with there being less transition time, we've noticed that students are much more focused during their learning period blocks. Having 2 30-minute recesses really allows the students to go outside, to find friends, to start a game and finish a game without that anxiety of having to rush and get outside before the bell rings. So when they do come back in after recess, they're much more focused and ready for their learning period.
Hi, my name is Madame Tarazzi. I teach here at École Provencher, and this year, since we're having to Zen outdoors, we get to experience many different things that the outdoors can bring to us.
J'aime aller dehors de l'éducation physique parce que quand il fait froid un peu, on peut aller à un montant et il y a beaucoup de trous et j'aime beaucoup. Les jours de voyageurs, tu peux trouver des tubes et tu peux jouer du bison.
Well, I think it's very fun and it's very amusing. We get to go outside into the fresh air, really have fun outside, and just, we really like it.
I think at first we were all a little hesitant to see what it would look like, and there was a bit of a learning curve at first as to how to fill a larger learning period block. But now, having taught with the balanced school day, I would never want to go back to a traditional model again. I'm so happy with it, and I see that the students are also really happy with it as well.
Bonsoir. My name is Gilles Mousseau, and I am proud to be the principal of Collège Béliveau. Along with our vice principal, Madame Diane Lamoureux, we take care of our French immersion learning community that is comprised of 630 grade 7 to 12 students and 58 dedicated staff members. Collège Béliveau is located on Spears Road in Windsor Park. This year does look different than any other year. Our grade 7 and 8 students are in the building full days, while our grades 9 to 12 students come to school every day for half days. A typical school day sees different grades entering and exiting Collège Béliveau from different doors, most students not moving much from their assigned classrooms other than the grade 11 and 12 students, and teachers traveling from one classroom to the next. pulling or pushing their supply cart with them. That being said, the Collège Béliveau staff continues to provide a safe, engaging, welcoming, and meaningful learning environment for all of its students. Collège Béliveau has been leveraging technology for quite some time to increase student engagement and student success. Teachers have enhanced their pedagogy through their MySites, OneNote, Teams, and a variety of other applications, giving rise to greater opportunities to collaborate, to communicate, create, to think critically, and to be curious. Tonight, you will see a glimpse of a day in the life of Collège Béliveau students where they leverage technology in mathematics, science, and technology courses. Let me reassure you that this is also taking place in other subject matters, such as in Français, English language arts, physical education, social sciences, visual art, and in music. Sit back and enjoy. Merci. Hello, my name is Gilles Mousseau. I'm principal here at Collège Béliveau, and I'm very proud to show you a snippet of what goes on at Collège Béliveau. We're focusing on integration of technology into a variety of courses and also hands-on learning for our students. You're also going to see our cafeteria area, our newly renovated space with the large windows, nice sunlight, a lot of new plants. So it's a very welcoming place for students. It's now doubling as a classroom. I hope you enjoy the tour.
So today in class we will be doing a live stream and using Pear Deck to learn about structural failure. And to do that we will be making structures out of marshmallows and toothpicks to show how the force of gravity and other internal forces are going to affect the structures and slowly cause structural failure.
Cette équation, je peux venir vous voir, mais pour les autres, je vais.
Et maintenant, ça c'est mon réponse. Ça veut dire le bâton vert égale 4.
Ça, c'est mon cours de chimie 40S, puis eux autres font leur premier titrage de la saison. Ça, c'est une technique fondamentale en chimie. Ça, c'est le premier. So, le but, c'est juste persévérer puis survivre.
Hi, this is the pre-engineering room at Collège Béliveau. My name is Mr. Bouchard. So the students are given a task to build a 3D printed prosthetic hand and have it move. So we have a few students working on the hands themselves and a few of them working on the electronics, and hopefully we can put them together and get a working project.
Okay, so à l'instant, on a nos jeunes ici en train de fabriquer 2 projets électroniques. Il y en a certains qui font un petit robot, et puis il y en a encore qui sont déjà au point de faire un jeu à main ferme. So ça, c'est jeu. Il faut passer un anneau à travers une pièce de cuivre.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing a day in the life of a few of our students and staff in our Collège Béliveau family of schools. My hope is that these town hall events continue to be valued by the families checking in, the students and staff. Hopefully you see them as a forum to come together, to share and learn from each other in the midst of a pandemic. Again, it's not ideal. I wish we were all able to visit in person and be the community that we are in a typical year. But soon enough, we'll see a light on the other side. We'll be in a post-pandemic world, coming together again as community. So now I'm going to look at some of the questions you've submitted, and we'll take a few minutes to answer some of the questions. First question I see. Is Lrsd planning for a normal 2021-22 school year, or will the plans be in line with the pandemic year? Yeah, great question. So essentially we're doing both. Right now, in a typical year, principals and vice principals would be doing some staff planning. By the way, guys, they all have to be submitted by Friday. They'd be doing some staff planning, and it would just be one plan. But they're planning two scenarios. One where we're in a post-pandemic world, because I suspect, I believe, I want to hope that at some point in the 21-22 school year, we will be in that post-pandemic world. And I want to be hopeful that as vaccination starts to take root, to take on some momentum in the province, we might be there sooner rather than later. But I don't know that at all. I don't have any insider information. And so we are also planning for a September that looks like it does today in March. And that said, we don't sit on our laurels. Although we developed a plan in the summer of 2020 to find 2 meters of distancing right from the first day of school. We've refined the plans all through the year to make them more as optimal as possible for staff and students. And so that's part of the planning as well. We want to make it a better lived experience for staff and students if we do have to still be in a pandemic situation with 2 meters of separation. But lots and lots of planning work to do. Let's see. What does last week's education announcement mean for Lrst? Yeah, well, that's a good question. What does it mean? Without sounding like I'm catastrophizing. It means the end of Lrst. Because Bill 64 essentially establishes an entirely new way of configuring the structure of education in the province. We're going to go from 37 school divisions to 15 regions. And one of those 15 regions is the city of Winnipeg. And there is the DSFM. So the DSFM is left alone. La division scolaire franco-manitobaine ne change pas. But we create 15 regions. And again, I repeat, one of the regions is Winnipeg. And so the 6 school divisions that make up this new Winnipeg region, Lrsd, Pamela Trails, Winnipeg, Seven Oaks, St. James, and River East Transcona all become one. 250 schools, 100,000+ students, and that is big change. But there's a lot more to the bill than that. That's just one part of it. That's just one of many parts to the bill. So yes, very important that you become informed, that you read all there is to read. Our cohorts and all the other COVID protocols, such as class size, distance between desks, continue in 21-22. Yes, well, essentially, like I said, if it has to, it will. And the question will be, when is it safe to not be doing that? We will take our direction from the province, from the government of Manitoba, from public health, from Dr. Roussin, from the Minister of Education. They will direct us. I've got Brandon's commentary. An anonymous statement here. Louis Riel has a unique community with so many great programs. How can we ensure that those are going to be kept when our division doesn't exist anymore next year? Well, that's a very important question that I'm asking myself. And so, well, first things first, the important question is, who are we? What do we value? And that's at the heart of the question. It always is. And so I'm already being asked to collaborate and engage with government colleagues about this bill and what it could mean. And so what guides me is what I know about the school division I love deeply. I've taught here since 1994, but I'm a product of Lrst because I grew up in Norwood. I went to school at École Précieux-Sang and then Collège Secondaire de Saint-Boniface, and that was the St. Boniface School Division. And Lrsd, and that was the Norwood School Division, I'm sorry. Précieux-Sang was the Norwood School Division. Le Collège Secondaire de Saint-Boniface was the St. Boniface School Division. I came back in '94 to teach in the St. Vital School Division, and those 3 divisions became Lrsd in 2002. And so, I guess I bleed Lrsd, and it's just, I'm broken right now, right? I can't help it to think that this place of learning that I've called home for so long is about to disappear. Is sad. It saddens me, but what I need to do, what I assure you I'm doing, is staying focused on Lrsd as a superintendent, caring for students, families, and staff. And when I'm in dialogue with anyone about these proposed changes, what I bring to that conversation are the values that are the community's values, are the many wonderful ways of being and learning and teaching that we are in Lrsd. And you can find all of that in our multi-year strategic plan, which isn't window dressing. It's this very special document that many people have poured their hearts and souls into crafting, and that's what I bring to the conversation. Have other schools considered full-time kindergarten? Oh, okay, a full-time K, yes. So I'm so proud of our full-time kindergarten initiative. I don't want to call it a pilot because it's gone on too long to be a pilot. But it's a pilot, it's an initiative, it's not universal like I personally would wish it was, because it would cost money. It would require a larger investment that the board can't make at this time, and of course possibly won't ever be able to make. But we have so much data, and we've analyzed that data, that I'm looking forward to, and I've been sharing that data for years now, and I'm looking forward to sharing some more data about just how significant, how important an investment it is. And my personal belief is that full-day kindergarten should be universal in Manitoba. My personal belief is that early years education run by the public school system should start 1 year earlier and be full day and be universal. And it's because those highest performing countries on PISA results, well, that's what they do. That's what the Finns do. And that's what many countries, highest performing countries and provinces in Canada do. And so that's my evidence-based learned opinion on that. What else? Why is École Provencher and École HP split? Because being K-3 and 4-8 instead of each being K-8. Well, because they share the same geography. And so if they both were K-8 schools, like they were for a while, they're competing for the same parents, and that isn't very healthy. So we brought them together as one happy family, and one is an early years school, one is a middle school. Now what might happen, and I've talked to parents often, we didn't do that without a lengthy process of dialogue and community consultation, and we only made the change when after a lot of conversation and surveys and checking in, we were ready to go. And I'm being told I got 2 minutes, and I love to tell a story.
But we have 140 people still on.
That's great. So we can stay if we have to. And so we have we created this K-8 community. And what I told folks back when we did this, when was that, Michelle? Or no, Michelle wouldn't remember. Who would remember? Who was there then? Anyways, was it 2015, 2016? I think so. Anyways, because essentially in French immersion, we've been on this journey since 2013-14, finding room for everyone. And it started with École George McDowell, and then it went from there. So Provencher and Henri Bergeron, the one thing is that depending on the numbers, one day École Provencher might be a K to 4 because it has lots of room, and École Henri Bergeron, because it's a little smaller, might have to be a grades 5 to 8 school. But what's amazing is those two schools, because of the growing popularity of French immersion, are healthy, big populations that continue to grow. It's the École Provencher is the only school with room in French immersion in Lrst. I'm so grateful that Lrst values single-track schools and that all families who want their children to learn in a French immersion school are able to do so. I'm reading a question, by the way. This isn't the case in other school divisions. I hope this isn't lost with the changes proposed in Bill 64. Well, I share the same sentiment. I expressed it actually. I've expressed it publicly recently. I was interviewed by La Liberté and shared some thoughts and questions, and it's also precarious, right? Everything is so precious and fragile. Everything we do as human beings, coming together as a society, it requires commitment, it requires community, it requires shared values, it requires the wherewithal to see it continue. It requires so much. I could go on. And so everything is so fragile. Nothing can ever be taken for granted. Another question. Is there any update on a second school for Sage Creek? Yes. Well, yes. Well, you know, and I was interviewed on CTV, and you've been maybe following on social media. So what's an update? You know, in fairness to the Sage Creek community, I'm planning on coming to the school soon, but I first have to meet with the staff. So I have a plan to meet with the staff in April, and I have a plan to meet with the community after that. And I've been planning, and this has been in the works since the fall. And it's because since, you know, despite the pandemic, there are many plates spinning in the air. And one of those plates is Sage Creek, the community. And so what's really exciting, and we've made that public in that it's come out as minutes in our board meetings, is that, and some trustees have tweeted and shared on social media, is that we've made a land acquisition. So we have a letter of intent to acquire land in Sage Creek, and we have the money to do so. That has been allowed. We've been allowed to borrow the dollars to make that acquisition. And the reason it's a letter of intent right now, and that we haven't signed over a check to Qualico, is that it's in a place where things are still in development, but the development is moving really quickly. It's at the corner of Ward and the future Boxstyle Road or Avenue, or and so that's the thing. At that Boxstyle Road, Street, Avenue is not ready yet there. It's not paved, it's not developed. And so as soon as that property, the lines are well defined, and we're looking at least 6 acres, maybe closer to 7 acres of land. So a slightly bigger land mass than the Sage Creek one. That was one of the lessons learned. We want a little more land. As soon as that land is shovel ready, and we hope that's at some point in 21, maybe early 22, we're gonna, well, right now we're making the case to government. The next to come, we need the money to be allowed to borrow the money to build the school. And so I'm so excited for that, but I'll have a lot more detail to share with everyone in Sage Creek, with staff and parents in April, and maybe into May before we talk to parents, maybe sooner. let's see, is the balanced school day in all French immersion schools? It is not, but it is in a growing number of schools across Lrst, and something I really am encouraging all elementary schools to consider. Just wanted to give a big thank you to the Lrst for doing such a fantastic job throughout this pandemic and contributing to creating such a caring and kid community of learners. Thanks so much. Please share that sentiment far and wide. People need to hear it. Not just in Lrst, but across the city and province. We parents are broken tonight along we parents are broken to write alongside our school communities. Is the bill a done deal? What can we do to stop it going through? Okay, so what to do about the bill? So what I want to say to folks about the bill is read it first. Read. There's lots to read. Talk to each other, talk to your neighbors, talk to family members, parents, talk to your parents, talk to grandparents, uncles, cousins, friends. Read and talk. And then what to do with respect to the bill, because I see that I'm seeing that question more than once here. And then what I suggest you do is there's a survey on the government website you can take. You can register to when the bill is in second reading and because it's had first reading and it's going to go to second reading, there will be a process whereby any Manitoban can speak to the bill at the legislature. And in a pandemic, I imagine we're going to do that leveraging technology. You can phone, write, email, text your MLA. You can phone, I think there's an email address also where you can send questions into government, but you can also email the minister, you can email the premier, and you can email your trustee, and you can engage in this thought exchange, which would also be a way for us to collect all of the thoughts being shared in Lrst about the bill. Are there any strategies which were implemented for COVID, balanced school day, dedicated entrances, encouraging hand washing and sanitizing that will continue post-pandemic? That's a good question. This is more and more the question I'm asking myself and I'm asking the community is, what do we want to see continue? What are the lessons learned from the pandemic? We can't have exhausted all this energy, all this innovation, all this for nothing. There's got to be lasting change. And so not just lasting change in terms of how should we be together to be healthier and stay healthier, but also I think there are questions to be asked about learning, about teaching, about lessons learned, about what we value. And one of the ways I'm going to get at that is the month of May. So the month of May in Lrst is going to be bookended about this very question. What are the lessons learned about the pandemic for a better post-pandemic world? We need to build back better. And so the first bookend, the start of the month, students in Lrst are going to self-direct, self-guide, self-facilitate a forum on that very question. And we're going to have them ask the questions. What is the lesson learned? And then we're going to document all of that and capture all of that all of that dialogue and thinking. And then the students, not all of them, but a chosen few, will present their lessons learned to staff on the last day of May. You'll recall there were, maybe you haven't, but the government of Manitoba added 3 professional learning days to the calendar this year. And the last of those 3 days is for us in Lrst is May 31st. And so the students will be the keynotes on that day. They will share their learnings, their lessons learned, and staff will start from there by listening to the students, and then do their own reflecting and capturing of lessons learned. So I'm really looking forward to May. It's going to be an amazing month. Will they continue with the charter in Royalwood even if kids go back full time? Yes, well, so there's again so many lessons learned about transportation, about where kids should be in school. We will be checking in with parents and families lots this spring and then in the fall with all of the lessons learned. And you know, I think I'll stop there. We've gone over time. You've been all very patient. We've gone 10 minutes over. And so I want to thank everyone for staying. Yeah, you know, I hope these are of value. I mean, they're not like typical town halls, right, where we're interacting and I see all the principals just patiently listening and watching me talk. And it's not the interactive thing I wish it were. And it can't really be using this platform right now because you can't have more than one person on the screen. So, you know, I'm going to look into how we could make a few of a few of the remaining more interactive, more like a podcast, more like get maybe an opportunity for parents to voice a question. We'll see what we can do. I want to make this more interactive, more town hall-like. I promise I'm going to try to figure it out. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Have a wonderful spring break, so well deserved. Stay safe, be well, and rest up. It's going to be an interesting spring and summer. Bye.